show you a tangle that's named for how I am feeling right now. Oof. Oof is from headquarters, a gridded actually tangle pattern, something we haven't done for a while. And I've had it on the back burner for a while, so I decided to pull it out because it's got a lot of circles in it, and it's really kind of representative of how I'm feeling these days, like I'm running in circles. We go back and forth between the barn and the garage and the house, unpacking boxes, repacking boxes, organizing, reorganizing, and I feel like I'm running in circles. And oof is a perfect tangle to represent that. So I'm going to teach you that today, but I'm going to put a little medieval variation on it that I think you'll like. And you can get your gold out however you want, your paints or your gel pens, and have a lot of fun with it. First, check out what we've been going through with the move, the actual move. This was the day of, and luckily we had some great help from our landlords, friends, and family who we could not have done this without. Then comes the problem of getting rid of all of the boxes and all of the plastic that was wrapping our things. Because of course we recycle everything here, and again our neighbors got together and just helped us get it done. So we're so lucky to be in this area where community matters, where neighbors know each other, where they help each other, where you know you can always rely on them. And to say thanks to all of our helpers, we invited them to a local restaurant that is called the Ibeck On for an evening of food and fun. And I think you might enjoy watching some of the cultural events that are at our fingertips. The really fun part is that we know so many of these locals. So everyone, let's learn oof. Oof is a Zentangle pattern that was inspired by a cathedral window I read. And originally, Maria wanted this to be a pattern that was so easy that you didn't even need to use a grid in the background. However, my oofs were not turning out very uniform, so I decided to go ahead and pencil in my grid to begin with. So this is a little bit of a variation. Okay, so this is oof. There are so many variations in this tangle, and that's why I love the pattern so much. I especially think it looks pretty medieval. Obviously, where it came from, it was probably a medieval church. But I do love using the gold to illuminate it and just other different colors and patterns within the pattern itself. So I think you're going to like learning this just as much as I did. So here are the materials for today. I'm using a Zentangle Bijou tile, Renaissance style, a graphite pencil, of course, and this is a 2-inch tile or a 5 centimeter tile. I've got my jelly roll pens here, both white and gold, and then I have some Sakura Micronpens in black. I have the PN and 01. And then not least is the white General's charcoal pencil, because we'll be needing that to make our highlights and our pearls. So I've gone ahead and made tick marks on my tile to divide it into thirds. And I've put them on all edges, and then I'm going to go ahead with my pencil and draw my grid just by hand, not using a ruler or anything. And I think that's why Maria didn't want us to use a grid originally. I think she wanted to get away from that measured, metered look. And this is way more organic when you do the grid by hand, like I just did. With my black Sakura pen, I am penning in the diamonds at the intersection of my grid lines. And that's just like our pattern that we learned called floors. So here, the only difference is that the grid is not in ink, but rather just in pencil. And down here where we don't have the full grid, I'm making just a little triangle to indicate half of the grid. Let's stop here and take a look at the tangle tag, step out, for what we're going to do next. We're going to go from the right side of our diamond at the top and bow out over the line down to the other right side top of the diamond. So from the bottom of the diamond to the top of the diamond, bowed out. Again, bow it out. So you're using those diamonds as a starting point, a takeoff point, and an ending point. And we're always going just a little bit past that grid line. We're going to be aiming to make circles, basically. So we want to try to be mindful about that arc being similar. Then I like to make note, I've made note on my tangle tag to turn my tile 90 degrees at this point. And then I'm going to do the same step again, starting at the top from the diamond on the right, going to the other side, the right side of the diamond. And once you get that concept, I think it gets really easy. Always remember to go from the right side to the right side. So on the half diamond side, I'm just starting at the end of the diamond or the triangle and bowing out a little bit to indicate where the pattern would be going if we're continuing on. You always have to think about where it would be. So I made a tiny mistake here. I started up there instead of down at the bottom of the triangle. So start at the bottom of the triangle, bow out to the other end of the triangle. But there are no mistakes in Zentangle, so that's okay. And as you can see, I am not done. There are some circles that haven't had the overlap yet. And here we're in a position to go from the left to the left, from the left to the left diamond to finish out that floret, basically. And there is basically oof. that's the pattern in its before you start doing the variations. And now I'm just going in there in those diamonds and filling out, saturating them with the black ink. You can use whatever color you want. This is the beauty of this pattern. So at this point, I'm using a PN because it goes faster. Now we're going to aura the internal spaces of each of these circles, but notice that the corners are a little bit squared off. And now we're going to do that again. We're going to be making sort of a facet for our pearls, as you can see here. So it's like a double aura on the inside. So now we've got the double aura lines inside the circles, and we're going to join them like this. And then you can see how good your circles are in your squares. If they're really square, you're going to make a nice fat pearl. I'm going to go ahead and shade now with my pencil on wherever these diamonds have a point. I'm going to put a little bit of graphite there. It's going to help those kind of bow out when we add, especially the white highlight in the middle after we blend. Let's see if I got them all. If you don't get them all, you can always use what's on the end of your tortillion. So the other thing we can do at this point is fill in the negative space behind the pearls. That's going to really help them pop. And this is an opportunity for you to choose different colors. You could use the browns. I just like the whole look of the black and tan and gold, but you could use the brown. That would be, really cool. You could, like here I used the reds in there. Well, actually I used black, but then I used the red around. So there's all kinds of possibilities for you to play with. Now it's time to make our pearls look like pearls, and I'm going to do that by using two things. I'm going to start off by giving them each color. First, you want to blend it with the fresh tortillion. Then we're going to put some graphite on top of this, sort of like our color layering. And blend it all together. You can actually, I'm going to just blend with my finger, so slightly. And then we're going to get our pencil back out, our graphite, and do that little shading that I call comma shading to give it, make like a great big comma here. And then you would blend that out. And do that to all of those. When you blend, you can actually bump on the side here and then again down here. I like to leave this little sliver for what we call reflective light. You don't want to scrub on the Renaissance tiles because it's really a printmaking paper and they don't do well with scrubbing. And they actually suck up your ink a lot, but they're very forgiving. So I do like using the Renaissance paper. And then if that pearl has lost some of its brightness, you can go back over it with your white. Give that area of reflective light some more generals. Down here. And then for that really special pop, you can put a hard reflective light or highlight on the upper left. That's looking a pretty believable pearl, right? And we're not done yet because we do want to add some highlights here. As soon as you touch that generals, I tell you it's fleeting. But that's the beauty of it. It's so subtle that if you don't like something, you can easily knock it down. And blend. Very subtly. Don't want to take away the light. And enjoy that part. I mean, for me, that's the best part of drawing is the shading. Then I'm going to take my Jelly Roll Gold, and you can use whatever gold you have. You can use your luscious gold honey paints. I'm just using this for a demonstration. So this line that is resulting because of the aura, we're going to skip after the black. We're going to skip this kind of facet, and then we're going to aura or color in gold that which is surrounding basically the diamond. Look how pretty and shimmery that is. The reason I left this as the last step is because you have to remember to let your gold dry. It's very easy to smear it. Trying to keep my finger on one of the pearls. You can also be patient and just let it dry in between and then continue on with your next row. So everything around that diamond you want to fill in gold. And then you can go back in and clean things up. If you lost a line, add it back in. Of course, be careful that things are dry, which I'm not being careful over here, but it's okay. You know what to do. Ah, I forgot a little corner. I wonder how many of you are out there thinking, she forgot one. It's a wonky pearl. We're going to say these are Sweetwater pearls, right? They're not as culturally perfect as a cultured pearl. Add a little more white here. And then what I did on the other one, which I think just adds one more special touch, is I put a little dot of white like that. Sometimes you have to go over it a couple of times. It just gets lost in that ink. And there you have Oof, all gilded and beautiful. So I hope you enjoyed this project. I know it wasn't a beloved organic one, even though there are flowers in there, and it's such a pretty tangle. I love it, love it, love it. So I do hope you get your gold out or your fun colors. Here you can actually really see that difference when I added a tiny bit of pink to the pearls. Just what a bit of a difference it makes. So have fun with this project and let me know in the comments section if you have any questions, if you liked it. If you did like this, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, as well as hitting the bell so that you will be getting notifications of when new videos come out. Thanks for joining me today. Bye for now.